What's up, guys?
Here we go.
We are back, week 3 of Young Dumb Crypto Show, and we're gonna talk about fiat today.
Yeah, last week we talked about the properties of money, just medium of exchange, unit of account, and a store of value, all the way up through 1971, where Nixon announced that the dollar would no longer be backed by gold.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets,
which then turned it into a fiat currency, which is what we're talking about today.
So when you look it up on Google, it comes right up on the right-hand side. Well, what better place to start? What is fiat? It says, fiat money is a currency without intrinsic value that has been established as money, often by government regulation.
Fiat money does not have use value and has value only because the government maintains its value or because parties engaging in exchange agree on its value.
So what the heck does that mean?
Basically, that means your money is backed by force, it's backed by belief in a government system, and that's it.
If the government's not enforcing it and everybody doesn't agree that it's valuable, it doesn't work.
The word fiat is actually a Latin word which means it shall be.
Our country needs a strong economy.
See, to have a monetary system, a country must first possess certain rare precious metals.
In my country, all you need is printing press on paper.
Well, I'm afraid we don't have either of those.
But we do have tree bark on my signature.
Tree bark on your signature? Preposterous. Suddenly, it's very possible.
It is literally a definition, a decree of a government saying this is the way it's going to be and you have no choice. So it is literally a currency that's circulating by force.
Here's your money. It shall be.
Right. This shall be your money, whether you like it or not.
Now it's turned into a system of control.
Like, we'd really like to reference Andreas Antonopoulos. He has a great video. It's called Money as a System of Control. And it really has become the fourth property of money that is slowly eroding all the other properties of money. And he goes into a lot of details and examples.
Every country in the world, every financial service in the world, every bank in the world. In 1970, Richard Nixon deputized the financial services field.
All right, so if you look at our government today and the system that we have, a lot of people do have confidence in America and they do have confidence in the community and the force that we can provide, but who knows how long that will last.
Since any of these things have been put in place, the buying power of the dollar has gone down and the circulating supply has gone up, which is basically inflation. And once that starts to occur, it usually tends to only be a matter of time before it runs into what they call hyperinflation and it starts to really get out of control. So now we're in this digital age. The fiat system's really hitting its stride. The digital age is really hitting its stride, and all this debt starting to pile up because there's nothing checking the dollar. And we hit 2008, a big financial crisis comes. Probably one of the biggest ones any of us have experienced in our lifetime if you're around our age.
Definitely.
So yeah, things changed quickly, and it really put a lot of things in perspective, I think, for a lot of people.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate.
We're red everywhere, essentially. Down by 4-5%. We're down over 16.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street? A lot of their customers are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go.
And the reason why a lot of this happened in 2008 was there was a lot of greed and corruption in the system, and people at the top working the system without proper checks and balances to their own advantage, where they just kept getting richer and richer and richer, and it was all put on the backs and debt of the consumers of the United States who really didn't have a good understanding of the financial system. You know, there's actually a really good movie that kind of goes into the details of a lot of this. It's called The Big Short on Netflix.
Love that movie.
There's going to be a bailout.
Well, they had to. Right? I mean, paper markets would
They
collapse.
knew.
Cash would stop coming out of ATMs. They had to backstop this.
They knew the taxpayers would bail them out. They weren't being stupid. They just didn't care.
Everybody knows somebody that lost a home in 2008.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was bad. It was ugly.
People that were rich, that were wealthy, I had really good friends that were multi-millionaires that lost everything because they were just too leveraged, but also, you know, there was nothing that they could do. They were trying to be honest people and pay their bills, but it just was not feasible.
Right. No, they go from literally millionaires to homeless people. It was insanity.
You know what? I think after 2008, we learned our lesson. Right, TJ?
Yeah, you'd think we learned our lesson, except the government, without even missing a beat, in Q4 2007, started to basically run the exact same game they were with mortgages on student debt, and that just, again, took off at an alarming rate. The amount of student debt, the cost of college and tuition and all that stuff has been skyrocketing. And just like they basically deputized the banks as a system of control and let them be the beneficiaries of all this bad debt, now they're doing the same thing with schools and colleges and tuitions, and it's not looking good.
$1.5 trillion. That's how much student loan debt outstanding there is. $1.5 trillion. So why is it the government's fault?
The government is subsidizing these high-risk loans. They're giving colleges no incentive to keep prices down because universities know every year they can rise prices.
The number one asset of the U.S. government is student debt.
Number one. By a lot. Not even close to second. I think it's like 45% is student debt, and then number two is 16%.
Taxes?
Yeah, 16% of like all the tax. But yeah, 45% number one asset that the U.S. government has is student debt, and they use that debt to then go borrow against and say, look at this is an asset on our balance sheet. We're going to go borrow more from the Federal Reserve so we can have more dollars in circulation. They just got burned by doing this with mortgages and FHA-backed loans, and they backed and insured loans that they knew were bad loans. Now they're going to do the exact same thing with student debt that they know is very low likelihood to get repaid. And that's what leaves people that are looking into it and questioning it, looking for a better option.
So around this same time in 2008, a person named Satoshi Nakamoto,
or persons,
because Satoshi Nakamoto is a pseudonym. It may be the name of one person or the name of a group. But for over 9 years now of Bitcoin's existence, no one has figured out who or what Nakamoto really is.
And they released the first white paper, which basically is like a blueprint for what Bitcoin is and how it will function.
Time and time again, when we trust men and people in power to control the supply of money, eventually things get out of control. So we really want to talk about Bitcoin, and one of the key factors is its set supply and how math and a predetermined algorithm sets the value and the supply of it over.
You don't have to trust human beings. You get to trust a system,
math,
that is public, that is visible to everybody,
that nobody can change. It is set in stone.
That actually happens to be our topic next week.
That's right.
So sorry if you're getting excited to learn about it today, but next week we are going to go into that. So we really value every person's feedback that watches these videos. And please throw us a comment, tell us what you liked, and tell us what we can improve on. And don't worry about keeping it private what we can improve on. We can handle it, all right? Just throw it in there. Tell us what we could do better.
Yeah, we're just trying to make this a little bit better each week, so the more feedback we can get for you guys, the better we can do. So we appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch our videos, of course, and anybody who takes the time to give us feedback. Thanks a lot.
Sincerely, we thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Next week, we're out.
Still got love to give while we're young, dumb, and broke.